Welcome to Istanbul Park here in Turkey. It is time for the Formula Horizons DHL Turkish Grand Prix of Season 14. Round 7 of this championship that is really starting to heat up at this point. Not much of a difference between the top 3 in the championship. Istanbul has the largest population in Europe. It ranks as the world's 15th most populated city with close to 16 million inhabitants. That is pretty big. This will be the first Turkish Grand Prix, or 2020 was the first Turkish Grand Prix since 2011 and was the 8th occasion held in the country. It was held one more time in 2021. Here's the track, 5.338 kilometers, 3.316 miles with two DRS zones, top speeds of 330 kph, 14 turns, the lap record of a 124.7 held by Juan Pablo Montoya, 40.8 meters of difference. Here we have turn 1, 2010, Hamilton going wheel-to-wheel with Jenson Button, one of those drivers starting on pole for this race. Down into turn 12, back in 2010, we have Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber colliding and sending Vettel spinning out of the race. Ferrari hopes that happens today. Turns 13 and 14, we have Kovalainen battling with Rosberg back in 2008. In a very interesting battle through those final couple of quarters. The 3 tire comp rounds on display for this weekend, C5, C3, and C1 tires. As always, you should know the drill by now if you've watched any of the other races so far this season, and probably next season as well. Let's take a look at the starting grid for today's race. Jenson Button starts on pole position with Isaac Spacedal starting P2 right behind him. Sebastian Vettel starts third alongside Emerald Diggy, who is currently fighting for that world championship. Luna D. Darling starts 5th alongside Easton Bound, also in that championship fight. Fernando Alonso starts 7th alongside Philippe Epical in Alfa Romeo, so Renault getting good qualifying today. Neil Hungary starts 9th alongside Alan the Alien in 10th place. Double Q3. Double Q2 knockout for Ferrari as Landon Canoka out-qualifies John B. Cool for, I believe, a second time this season. Dad B. Cool starts 13th ahead of Luis I don't know with an engine penalty. Kaito 132 starts 15th alongside Zuka Boy in the Alpha Tauri. Mombi Cool starts 17th alongside Nicholas Latifi in 18th. It says pit lane start, we ignore that. Pierre Gasly starts 19th alongside Nate Cousinot, starting dead last for not the first time this season. And it's lights out and away we go for the Turkish Grand Prix. Jenson Button gets a good start, but not as good as Isaac Spacedal, who darts out into the lead into turn 1. We go as he cuts the curve a little bit, hits the barrier. Luna D. Darling up into P4, battling with Sebastian Vettel for that podium place as Fernando Alonso has gotten past Emerald Diggy. Not great for the championship contender. Jenson Button battling it out with Isaac Spacedal for the lead of the race. Neither driver has won a race this season so far, but that could change today, as Fernando Alonso's gotten past his teammate in Luna D. Darling and is even trying to make a move on Sebastian Vettel, going up towards the quadruple apex in the top right of the track. As here we have riding John B. Cool going through the quadruple apex, gets on the curb. Oh, and he's lost it. And John B. Cool is, into the barriers. The championship leader into the barriers and down in P20th. He's got the car back moving. He's still in the race. Fernando Alonso running P3, trying to get up close to Jenson Button, who started on pole. Emerald Diggy down in P7 now. Getting overtaken by Easton Bound. Look at the sparks flying thanks to these ground effect cars. Fernando Alonso battling out right behind Jenson Button through the final couple of corners. Neil Hungary has gotten past Philippe Epical. Dabby Cool's moved up ahead. And Isaac Spacedal leads us across the line to start lap 2. So here we have Sebastian Vettel trying to sweep around the outside of Easton Bound, which turns into the inside, and he has made up that position. Easton Bound's going to fight it down the inside. Sebastian Vettel just staying ahead. The relatively old driver compared to a lot of drivers on this grid. As that is a good old battle between two really good drivers, a 4-time world champion and a driver fighting for their first world championship. Easton Bound sweeping around the outside. and that leaves the door open for Isaac Spacedolf to also get up close. Sebastian Vettel's not done fighting, though. He's trying to get back onto the back of Eastern Bound. Fernando Alonso running P3. Isaac Spacedolf leads by 3 seconds to Jenson Button, as Fernando Alonso trying to go down the inside of Jenson Button does not make the move stick. Goes off the track a little bit. Down the DRS straight, I guess. Alonso just was not close enough to his final couple of corners to make a move on the racing point. As Sebastian Vettel is battling out now with Landon Canoca. Started P11. So the Ferrari's running P8 and P20 in this race. Not a great race. Landon Canoca trying to stay ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Vettel sweeps back around the outside. The former Ferrari man himself. Past and present Ferrari. That battle. As Isaac Spacedolf leads by almost 6 seconds on lap 3. Just darting ahead in the special White Bull livery that they're running for this race. Similar to what they did in Turkey 2021. So we might see that livery return next season as well. When we come here next year. Landon Canoca trying to go down the inside of Emerald Diggy. And Fernando Alonso has gotten past Jenson Button. Landon Canoca trying to get on the back. He's gotten past Emerald Diggy. Now trying to go and catch up to Easton Mountain and help out his teammate in the championship fight. Excuse me. Wasn't able to make a move with DRS down the main straight. As Sebastian Vettel. Oh, Sebastian Vettel spun around, and he is going to park it up, and he is out of the race. So everyone behind him moves up a position for free. So that moves Luis, I don't know, into the points. And here we have Lunar D. Darling trying to catch up and get past Jenson Button. The Racing Point not being a very fast car around here like it was in 2020. But of course, it's just a pink Aston Martin instead of a pink Mercedes, so. Landon Canoca trying to get on the gearbox. He'll have DRS and he'll have a slipstream, but Easton Bound will also have a slipstream down the back straight. Is Landon Canoca going to be close enough to make a move? He's going to send it down the inside. Is Landon Canoca going to make up the place? Easton Bound trying to sweep back around the outside to the inside. Who is going to have the position? It's going to be Landon Canoca, who gets ahead and up into P5 as Jenson Button almost gets overtaken by Luna D. Darling. Maintains the position off track, I believe, but doesn't matter. There's no track limits or penalties. But Landon Canoca putting on a mega drive in that Ferrari. Similar to what Sebastian Vettel did in 2020, getting on the podium from P11. Is Landon Canoca going to be able to replicate that in this race? Who knows? Well, I mean, I do, because I actually did the race earlier, but who knows what's going to happen in this race? As Landon Canoca is catching up to Luna D. Darling, the Ferrari, the second fastest car on the grid behind the Red Bull. And you would think Landon Canoca is going to be close enough to make a move. Maybe not into this corner, down the inside. Oh, he's going to try it down the inside. Maybe with two cars. No, gets past Luna D. Darling, though, and we'll have that great launch. Oh, never mind. Not that great of a launch, but we'll have a good launch to try and make a move on Jenson Button. He is close enough. He'll also have to try and defend from Luna D. Darling in P5 behind him. As Isaac Spaceoff has stretched it, sorry about that, stretching the lead to 7 seconds. As here we have Emerald Diggy battling it out with Luna D. Darling for P5. One of the championship contenders. Not helping East and Bounds championship battle is battling with his teammate. Here in 2020 we had a championship decider, but of course not here. Not enough of a deficit. But if the race were to finish how it is, the championship would be blown wide open, as Chumby Cool is finishing outside the points. As we see Emerald Diggy going will to will with his championship rival East and Bound. And sweeping back around the outside. Here we have Landon Kanoka could try and make a move on Jenson Button. Neo Hungry trying to get ahead of his teammates. The second driver, as he is, in the number 63 car. Runs wide and maintains the position. That, in regular Formula 1, would probably be a penalty, but who cares, because there's no penalties, as he does sweep back around the outside of East and Bound and maintains 7th position. Not very teammate-like, you would say. If this was actual 2020 Mercedes, you would be hearing some sort of let him through. But Landon Kanoka just touching the back of Jenson Button and trying to push his way through, and does push his way through and up into the podium position, similar to Sebastian Vettel, our one retirement in this race. What Sebastian Vettel did at the Turkish Grand Prix of 2020. But look at that. From first to second, 6 seconds. From second to third, almost 6 seconds. So, pretty big gaps in between the front three. As we see Isaac Spaceoff going through the quadruple apex for the final time in this race. In that White Bull livery. Which took barely any effort to actually make, I will admit. But onto the straight he goes, powering full beans down the straight through the kink. DRS open. Into the final few corners of the race for him. And no one is going to be able to stop him. Isaac Spaceoff is going to round the final corner, and for the first time in this season, Isaac Spaceoff wins the Turkish Grand Prix. And that was a super drive. Jenson Button battling out with Luna D. Darling, though, for 4th place on the track. Luna D. Darling gets back ahead, and Emerald Diggy is going to have a good launch down the inside. Is he going to get past? Yes, he is. Just at the end, Emerald Diggy moves up into P5 and up and down the field. What a race this has been. There's not going to be any overtakes to the line.